Sairam students, I hope all of you are doing good and I welcome you all to another literature class. Today's class we will begin with the revision of our chapter number 13 from your New Voices textbook, and the name of the lesson is The Tremendous Tree. Basically, this is written by Paro Anand, and she was born in 1957 and is a prolific author, playwright and novelist. She is a very productive author. She has authored 18 books for children and young adults. She headed the National Center for Children's Literature and the National Book Trust, India. She's also won many awards for her contribution to children's literature. Just go and get your pen and book so that you jot down the meanings, the reference to the context, and the other questions which we had given you as homework. Let us see what this lesson is all about. Basically, this lesson revolves around a tree. That's the Gulmohar tree. Now, trees are important for our survival, aren't they? Yes. Okay. So, we need trees not only for survival, but also they make our lives beautiful. Trees endure rain, heat, storm, yet continue to grow upward. They teach us to keep growing despite limited resources. So this is the quality that we learn from trees. Okay, trees, they endure rain, heat, storm. Okay, but they don't give up. They still continue to grow and grow more and more. Okay, so what do they teach us? They teach us that with limited resources also we have to learn to keep growing. They teach us to keep growing despite limited resources. Clear? Now let's revise the lesson quickly. This read is about how the residents of the colony in Delhi were suddenly deprived of water. So as it was summer season, okay, and they were running short of water. So these residents of Block C, they initially felt that the entire area was facing water shortage. Okay, and this happened all of a sudden. The other lanes in the colony were receiving a regular water supply. So what happens, these residents, when they went for morning walks, evening walks, when they spoke to each other, they realized that it's not not the entire colony. It's only the C colony that was facing, and that too few houses, in a particular lane which were facing this water shortages. And then they were wondering what happened. How is this only for these few houses? That is C2 to C12. How come only these 11 houses are facing water shortage? Is someone stealing away water? Who is doing that and how are they doing it? So they decided for investigation. So investigations were carried out by contacting the concerned authority. They lodged a complaint, okay, that if the entire colony can receive water, why is it that only these 11 houses are suffering? So when the complaint was lodged, what happened? They had people coming from the concerned authorities, and what did they do? They dug drains to solve the mystery. They just wanted to understand whether there was any seepage, whether there was any leakage, so that they could rectify that. Okay, so drains were dug to solve the mystery, and no explanation was found until the last stretch was reach. So they kept on digging, but they could not find any solution until they reached the last stretch of the, when they were digging, until they reached the last, they couldn't find the solution. And what did they see? The laborers, the water supply officials, and the residents discovered that the gulmohar tree that stood 25 feet away had sent out its roots to enmesh the pipeline and draw out from the same. So this particular gulmohar tree, okay, if you remember, it blazed in its bounty. Okay, everything else, everywhere else, there was water shortage, but this tree was glowing. And this tree was some 25 feet away. Okay, so what did they find out? Okay, they found out, they discovered that the gulmohar tree, which stood 25 feet away, had sent out its roots to enmesh. Enmesh is to entangle. Okay, entangle the pipeline and suck the water that it requires. So from such a far distance, the roots went towards the water body. They could sense, because of that, that coolness, they could sense that there was a water body nearby. The people who saw this sight were filled with a deep sense of respect for the tree. So this tree, to quench its thirst, what did it do? Okay, the roots, they ventured towards the source of water. And people, because of this, people had, a deep sense of respect for the tree. Okay, it could take care of itself. They were in awe at the sheer strength and determination of the tree to solve the water crisis in summer time. So maybe that tree was ignored by the residents. Okay, but the tree did not ignore itself. Instead, it sent out its roots towards the water body so that it can survive in the summer season. The people not only admired the beauty of the tree but also resolved to water it regularly. So, they not only admired the beauty, okay, it was glowing, the tree was glowing. So not only they admired the beauty, but they promised that they would water the gulmohar tree regularly now onwards. Clear? Let us do a few synonyms. Erratic is unpredictable. Distressing is upsetting. Mopped is soaked up liquid by wiping. We mop our brows, which means we clear the sweat with the help of a cloth. Okay, decaying is rotting. Obscenely is repulsive, and stoically is without complaining or showing your feelings. Then we have few antonyms. Drooped is rose. Gradually, the antonym is suddenly. Forgotten is remembered. Precious is cheap. Okay, so these are the antonyms, few antonyms and synonyms that we have in this lesson. Then this particular question was given as a reference to context. Quickly we'll revise this as well. The sentences: dutifully the roots stuck out in the correct direction. Okay, this is the sentence. Whose roots are being mentioned here? So yes, whose roots? Basically it is the roots of the gulmohar tree that are being mentioned over here. So dutifully the roots. Okay, which tree are they talking about? It's the Gulmohar tree that they are talking about. What was dutiful about the roots? It was summer season and the weather was hot. Like I told you, it was very hot. Okay, and in order to slake its thirst, to quench its thirst, what did the tree do? The army of roots unearthed a water source and brought back essential supplies to the Gulmohar tree. So the roots which went towards the water body, what did they do? They, it was a concrete part. Okay, and the roots were so thin that they went inside the concrete part also, and from there it sucked enough water to send it to the tree. Clear? What was the correct direction? The correct direction was the water supply line from where the root was slaking its thirst. Clear, students? Next is, we had given you one more question. The Gulmohar tree teaches us a lesson. Very much. Okay, we learnt a lesson. What is it? Now basically, students, this question is a personal response. Okay, it's your answer, it's your way of writing the answer, but what can be written, I'll help you with it. Okay, so what lesson do we learn from this Gulmohar tree? Basically, you should be determined. Okay, if you have that willpower, okay, to survive in the difficult situation, also nothing can stop you. This Gulmohar tree, okay, the weather was very hot. Okay, but still what did it do? Okay, the army of roots, it spread towards, it ventured towards the water body, and it helped itself, it helped the tree to survive in that particular weather as well. So you should be strong enough, you should have that willpower to survive in odd situation also. So if there is anything else that you have learned, even that can be your answer. Clear? So this is a personal response question. What is personal response? Basically, you will write your own answer, that what have you learned from the Gulmohar tree. Clear? So students, that's it for the revision of this particular lesson. The entire lesson is dealt in detail in the previous videos. Please don't forget to watch those videos as well. We'll catch up in the next class, and until we meet, you will take care of yourself. Sai Ram and bye-bye.